I'm playing at a really high level. The team is playing at a really high level, and it's good to see other Bahamian players doing that as well. And it fills me with a lot of pride. I haven't had a chance to go to a Yankees game yet, but I'm sure that they'll still be playing, after we're done, and so I'll be able to get to go to a game. But it's amazing to see other Bahamians, taking advantage of the opportunities, making.
Hey, ladies, Andy Lipton. Question for JJ. You've excelled in every aspect of the game this year, scoring, defense, passing, ball handling, your movement, your conditioning. What did you do during this past off season differently, if anything? And if you did, what motivated you?
Well, obviously, making it to another championship and falling short is always motivating. And I think we did a lot of great things last year, but we just needed a little bit more. So that was always in the back of my mind, regardless of what I was doing. But this offseason, I was able to play, overseas. I played in China. And people talk about it a lot. Like you can do a lot of off-court things to kind of prepare for the season, but nothing gets you ready like playing basketball games. And so I was just playing year round. And I think that really helped with the way that I came into the season, started the season, ultimately was able to like be an all-star and all of that because a strong start is so important. But ultimately just getting back to myself and my game. Last year I didn't feel like that. And this year, like I said, it really helped just to play basketball and get back to myself and be healthy.
Gotcha. Thanks, JJ.
No problem.
Go. Follow up. Yeah, good. Also to your right.
This is just a question for both of you. Just to be back in the finals, what's that feel like, and what, if anything, is different from a year ago?
You can go first. Want me to go? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I said before, our team has had a year to really grow and understand each other and build our chemistry. And then also we have that bonding experience of making it to a championship and falling short, and then having that hunger to go out there and make our minds up in terms of our mindset and how we approach the game, that it wasn't going to happen again. And so, we still have a job to do. We're coming in against a really good Minnesota team that really plays great basketball, and they challenge you in different ways and on different levels. And so we understand it's going to be a fight, but collectively we have gone through a lot together, and we've built and become way stronger. And so I think that's been the biggest difference.
All right, next we're going to turn to Zoom. We'll start with Howard. Howard, go ahead.
Thank you both. Congratulations. Okay, good. Now the echo's gone. One for each of you, if I could. Sorry if the sound is off. JJ, for you, in the matchups against Minnesota this year, when you were held to single digits in points, they won. You scored 21 in the win. I'm wondering if you're looking at that metric or a different metric. And Kayla, for you, seeing this team, how it has evolved, I'm hoping you can tell me if you see one specific moment from the Aces series that let you know that this was a different team this year.
I think just our mentality. I think like JJ said, last year we were kind of all new, and thank God we made it to where we did, just having that first year. But I think this second year we kind of came in, we knew what we needed to do, having the experience and what we went through last year. We have an understanding of what we have to do, and I think just the big part of it was just the mental part.
Yeah, and in terms of my matchups against Minnesota this year, obviously they do a really good job of congesting the paint, sending multiple people, fronting the post, and kind of making you pass the ball over the top, and then having that help side defense be there. But I understand how important it is for me to play really well for us to win. And I understand that a main point of emphasis for Minnesota is trying to get me out of the game, and being able to use that to affect the game. So I'm coming in really aggressively, obviously trying to play smart, not get into early foul trouble, and trying to affect the boards, because they are a smaller team, and I think rebounding is one of the ways that we can kind of exploit them a little bit. But ultimately, just trying to have a good game so that we can be successful.
Thank you both.
Turn to the room for a question, and then back to Zoom. Go ahead.
JJ, just being in another finals, is there something that you've taken away from each of your appearances that's different, each appearance that you've had?
That's different. I would say the overarching theme is just that you have to take advantage of the opportunities when you're there because you just never know when they're going to come. And that small things like 50-50 balls and screening and rebounding, those things matter and can be a difference maker in whether you win or lose that game. And every win or loss is really important, obviously. But I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of learning experiences from it. I'd have to really go back and sit back and think about like everything specifically, but ultimately the overarching theme is the kind of thing that I've taken away from all of the finals.
I will go back to Zoom and we'll turn to Lindsay. Lindsay, you'll be followed by Sasha.
Hey ladies, JJ, this one's for you. I wondered if you had ever, in the course of your career, played on a team that had this much defensive length, and if you have ever been in a situation where you have not had the longest wingspan before.
I've never been on it. Well, actually, yeah, I have been on a team where I haven't had the longest wingspan. Obviously, I played in Russia with BG and Stewie, so that's two like super long people in terms of like protecting the paint. So I've been on that team. In terms of what was the first one? Defensive wingspan?
Well, I was asking if you had played on a team before with this type of length, and like how does that impact things for you? How does it help you?
I mean, it helps me just because, there's a lot of times where we're switching on guards and, I can trust the people behind me that they're going to have my back. I don't have to always be the person rotating to kind of help. Like we have other people built in defensively to be able to rotate and affect the ball and, just help the team be successful. But when we come up with the right energy and effort, like our team is really hard to stop because of that as well.
Thank you.
All right,
problem.
Sasha, you're up. You'll be followed by Brittany. Sasha.
Hey JJ, so I have two questions for you. One question being, this is now your fourth finals, if I'm not incorrect, two with Connecticut and now two with New York. Talk to me about how you're going to approach this differently. And then secondly, unfortunately, guys, I got to bring it back to the Bahamas. We have you now playing in the finals. We have Anton Richardson with the New York Mets, also in the LB. We have Jazz also in the playoffs for New York Yankees. Just talk to me about the impact of that. All of you are in New York. All of you have made playoffs, and what that means for the Bahamas as someone who raps hard 2-4-2.
Yeah. Obviously, like you said, Ford finals. Obviously they were all different because they were like kind of with different teams, but with Connecticut, with New York. But I'm just coming in playing hard. Like I feel like ultimately when I go back and I look at my finals appearances, like I feel like I have really good finals, and I've said this before, like I play really well in those situations with the exception of like the last game last year. But it comes down to everybody just really being locked in, me finding other ways to really help my teammates be successful as well. And just playing in that type of way. But just going out there playing hard. I'm really the type of person that focuses on one thing at a time. Like whatever the main thing is, I allow it to be the main thing. So obviously you learn from those final appearances, but you also come in locked in with the mindset to win, this one. And of course, being from the Bahamas and repping for the 2-4-2, it always feels good. But I'm playing at a really high level. The team is playing at a really high level, and it's good to see other Bahamian players doing that as well. And it fills me with a lot of pride. I haven't had a chance to go to a Yankees game yet, but I'm sure that they'll still be playing, after we're done. And so I'll be able to get to go to a game. But it's amazing to see other Bahamians, taking advantage of the opportunities, making it professionally, and then repping the Bahamas. So I love it. I love to see it.
All right, we have a few more questions from Zoom. We're going to go to Brittany and then Alfred. Brittany, go ahead.
Thank you so much. This question is for Jonquel. Jonquel, can you please speak to how important these 2 days of rest have been for you in preparation for this upcoming series?
Yeah, it's been amazing. You get in, you work with the trainers and strength and conditioning coach. You can, just work on things that are really bothering you that, can kind of help you get a leg up. And obviously Minnesota is coming from playing last night, and then we have a game tomorrow. And so it was really important for us to go out in Vegas and finish game 4. And, basically end that series so that we can have the opportunity to work on the things that we wanted to work on to be better as a team, but to also make sure that our bodies were right for game 1.
Excellent. Thank you, JJ.
All right, thank you. Well, staying with Zoom, we're going to go with Alfred, then Michael, and then we'll return to the room for a question. Alfred?
Hi, this question can go for both JJ and KT. Back in 2023, you were the two first acquisitions that really helped set off this new Look Liberty team and this new goal. When you look back at this journey and now being in back-to-back finals, just how special has it been for both of you to be part of this new Liberty movement?
See other Bahamian players doing that as well.
I think it's been a blessing. I think, this is my second finals, and just to see how far we came, especially from last year, I just love the growth that we have and the confidence that we have, and just with the added pieces that we have this year, has just been great. So yeah.
Great, thank you.
All right, Michael, you're up. Michael?
Yeah, this is a question for Kayla, please. Kayla, I think going back obviously to your time in Dallas, you've always been I always say a fan favorite player, and I think that's carried over into New York. And I think a part of that is just your willingness, if you will, to do the dirty work. That you're always been that type of player.
The
I
heart.
wonder
It's the
how
heart.
much.
From the heart. It's the heart.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder how much that is something you consider part of your identity, somebody who is just willing to do whatever it takes, because your role's been different in your time in the WNBA, depending on what season it is and which team.
Yeah, I think just for me, just my preparation, just being prepared for everything. Just, whether it be defense, whether it be offense, just always staying prepared and just understanding that, yeah, my role does change, but what I bring is very valuable. And, nobody could take that. And I always just come in knowing that, like, I'm always work harder than whoever is on the court with me, and that I always have my team's back. So whatever is needed on that day, like, I'm going to always come in and try to do that, especially coming off the bench, seeing what we need. And just just getting also the crowd involved too, because that kind of helps as well. But just finding ways to get people going, to just to be that spark.
Thank you.
Question from the room?
Thanks. Hey, this is for Kayla. I met your parents at one of the games, spoke to them a little bit. They actually sit next to one of my friends. What's that like to have your parents here supporting you at the games?
Oh man, it's a blessing. Both of my parents and I retired this year. So my mom, she's been, I'm gonna follow you wherever you go. And my dad's like, well, I can't stay home. So, just to have them here, just to give back, everything that they put for me to get to where I am now. And for me to be blessed, for me to give back and have them travel wherever I am, it's just a blessing. So it's real good. I mean, she could be loud at times, but I can't control that now. Back in the days, I'll tell her she couldn't come to my games. The gyms were a little bit smaller and you could just only hear her. But now, we have a crowd, so it's not too bad.
I met them. They're lovely people.
Appreciate it.
JJ, Kayla, thank you.
Thank
To our
you.
media, rejoin us, please, if you would, at 4:30 for the Minnesota Lynx. We'll see you then. Thanks, everybody.